Hello, everyone. We are at the end of the week 5 of the Financial and Legal Concept for Researchers module. So, on this week, you look during and after the project, so what needs to be done. So, I want to thank everyone for your engagements to use the Student Cafe and discussion forum. So, remember that you can download the PDF version of the Welcome to Week 5 section. So as you review on the content of this week, so the key role of a research manager is setting up and maintaining the high legal aspects and financial standards during the project. So you need to make sure that the team complies with all ethical codes and guidelines. So it's also important to conduct a risk assessment of your project as early as possible and set up a contingency plan to address problems and also a timeline to ensure the completion of the project. So the research manager is responsible for the administration of the grant and also the authorship and supervision, interpretation of the data, and the conflict of interest. So in the poll question one, so which strategy would you employ to manage and resolve a conflict of interest? So here, learners selected dialogue and communication. So this selection was because the effective communication is key to prevent any conflict of interest, and also is the first step to consider among the other options in the poll question, which was transparency, negotiation, proactivity, mediation, and flexibility. So another aspect of this model is the protection of the intellectual property. So here, so the protection needs to be considered in all the stages of the project. So for this, the pathway usually before publishing is you need to find a way how to protect the rights of your work. So for example, you can first file a patent and after publishing. So here the IP is complex and confusing sometimes, especially when the IP rights expire and becomes a public domain work. So this usually happen after decades of creation. So it's also important to ask for advice here in this aspect because intellectual property is, as I mentioned, is complex. So in the poll question two, so which IP type is applicable for your current research? So most of the learners here select the copyright because usually they publish in journal articles or as a report. So at the end of your project, so it's important that you have evidence of compliance with ethical and legal standards. Um, Also, it's required to finalize the project, ensuring all aims and objectives were met. So finally, complete any report required by the funding body. So usually between 6 to 12 months after the completion of the project. So after this week 5, so you have now have a better understanding of your basic responsibilities as a researcher and research manager, how to manage the project, the team, understand the concepts of risk management and intellectual property, and also ensure that how you wrap out your project. So I want to thank everyone again for your attendance during all these 5 weeks. Also, I want to thank your engagement to use the Student Cafe and discussion forums. So I trust that you enjoyed this financial illegal concept for researchers model and learn the basics to fund and manage a research project.